Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Connected by Community, brought to you by Ballantine Capital Advisors. My name is Cameron, and I have my co-host Anthony Colancheco with me today. And we are excited to have Tyler Baccino from Tyler's Pub at the Pier. Thanks for joining us today, Tyler.
Thank you, guys. I'm honored.
Man, we're so excited to have you. Another Clemson grad in the room. So excited about
Another
that.
guy from the Northeast and a fellow Italian.
Yeah, you guys keep coming down here, man. I don't know what's the deal. Also named Tyler, so we got a Tyler at the office, also from the Philly and Delaware area. So it's fun to have you guys on. But tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started. You moved down here from Delaware, like I said, and went to Clemson and then kind of started a bar. So let's hear about it.
Yeah, so like you said, my name's Tyler. I'm 25 years old from Middletown, Delaware. Been coming to South Carolina ever since I was a kid. My family had a timeshare in Hilton Head that we frequented. And then my uncle has like a beach house kind of outside Charleston. So we've been coming to South Carolina since I was a baby. Fell in love with the state. Never wanted to go back up north. So I only toured after high school. I only toured colleges in South Carolina. Went to Coastal Carolina for 2 years. Transferred to Clemson in 2017. Graduated in 2019, and then that's pretty much a little bit about me right there.
Awesome. How'd you like going to Clemson? I mean, I think we were there at the same time, and we were the best football team I think we've ever had. So it was pretty incredible.
Yep. I remember I was bartending at TD's downtown on the night of the national championship, and oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was a good time to be there. Well, tell us a little bit about the bar. It's at the Pier, which for those of you that don't know what Clemson area, it's an awesome little mixed community. They just got a bar there, obviously. So tell us about that, how it kind of got started, and how that progressed.
Yeah, so it used to be called TD's at the Pier, and I had worked for TD's downtown since 2017. When I walked and graduated in December 2019, I stuck around, for that victory lap, like people would say. Definitely did not want to go back up to Delaware, but was still searching for jobs in South Carolina. So the owner approached me and asked if I wanted to manage the other location, which was TD's at the Pier, the community. And yeah, I took him up on it. So I was doing like all the inventories, learning all about that stuff, managing it, and then did that from about March of 2020 to May of 2021. Moved to Charleston right after that, managed a place in Isle of Palms for about 8 months, and then saw on social media December of this past year, actually, that TD's at the Pier was closing down. And I didn't think anything of it. Like, I was just working in Charleston, scrolled through, saw it on Instagram, and I was like, darn, like, that's kind of sad. And then sure enough, in January, the owner called me out of the blue and was like, hey, if you got the weekend off and you want to come up to Clemson, I was like, I got an offer for you. And sure enough, I didn't work that weekend, drove up, and yeah, we pretty much toured the area, talked about a few things, and I think it was January 14th, he signed it over to me.
Wow. So, I mean, unpack that for us a little bit. So you went to Clemson first and foremost.
Yep.
What did you study there? Was it business?
Yep, business management.
Okay, so you had a little bit of background. You were working at some of the other locations, kind of going through school. You obviously like the bar life and kind of how that worked.
Yeah.
So you got out, we're doing that, moved to Charleston for a little bit, and then came back. So I guess, what was his whole pitch? What was the whole idea of, changing the name and bringing you back in? He just thought you could kind of, revive it for him?
Yeah, my relationship with them was always pretty close. I mean, when I started with them in the fall of 2017 at their downtown location, wasn't even 21 yet. I think I was about a month from turning 21. So I started just a bar back and then in the kitchen helping out. And I was only using like the job at the time, for like some drinking money, make some money, get tipped out in cash. And then, on a night off, go out and have fun with it. But then just that environment, like the fast pace, I always love like moving around, just like really spoke to me. And then I was turned 21, turned into like a bartender, loved doing that more than anything. Kitchen manager, bar manager, and then, just kept working the way up every semester. It felt like I was doing like a different job for him. So me and the owner built a pretty close relationship. And he just called me up one day. I went up to Clemson to talk to him. And he was like, he's like, I wanted to offer this to you before we put it out there on the market. And it's like, if there's something we can work with. I mean, they've been more than helpful too, like help getting it set up. If I have any questions still, or I'm like, hey, do you have this person's phone number? Like, I feel like I forgot it or something. Just yesterday, actually, one of our freezers went out too, and they were like, do you need somewhere to like store your stuff? And I'm like, no, like convenient, like we have a backup one too. But yeah, they've been nothing but helpful, and it's just been really good so far.
So you take the bar over after COVID. Has there been any aftermath of COVID? Or?
I think actually more people are, especially college students, are more inclined to actually be out now. They just love being there, hanging out. When I managed TDs at the Pier, that was during COVID from all of 2020 into May of 2021. And it was like, I remember we opened for a little bit, then we shut down again, then we reopened, and then I think maybe shut down one more time after that. But it was just like so different then. I remember always having like, bartend, like wearing a mask, and it was just
oh my god, that's the worst.
It was always getting so hot in there.
So I'm guessing because you're up at Clemson, you don't have a hard time finding folks to work.
Yeah, no. We've actually been very lucky. So we actually retained a lot of the same staff that TDs at the Pier had. A few of my buddies that worked for me, like they all graduated and moved on. But yeah, right now we're kind of just, trying to fill that kitchen staff and some bouncers. But like everyone like in the Pier community is like always ready to hop on. Like most of our staff comes like right there from the community.
Oh, that's nice. At least you know if they're skipping out on you, where to find them.
Yeah, exactly. If ever they're like, running late or they don't show up, I'm like, I can come. If I knock on your door and you're home, I hope you come to work.
You just mentioned that you guys, have kitchen staff. So do you guys offer food there as well?
Yeah. So we specialize in pizza and calzones, which is kind of crazy to hear, for like a restaurant or like a bar.
Typical Italian.
Yeah. But what goes better with beer than pizza? I mean, come on.
Yeah. So we really like pride ourselves on that. We came up with like a couple new pizzas, that weren't on the menu when it was TDs at the Pier. But we do all the other stuff like wings, burgers, chicken sandwiches. Sometimes we do like wraps and quesadillas on like special days.
Nice. So how excited are you that school's kind of coming back in? Football season's coming again.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I can't wait. During the summer, it was probably a little tough. We opened right at the end of March, but actually didn't get our liquor license to serve beer or alcohol till the end of April.
Oh, wow.
So we were only selling alcohol, which in a college town, like that's really like one of the main drivers for like the sales. And then, sorry, I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, so it started selling alcohol the end of April. Students graduated like May 15th, so we were only selling alcohol to them for like 2 weeks. And then it was the summertime where it was like just our regulars that lived on the lake, and then just customers that and students that stayed until they had to move out. But yeah, now that everybody's back, this past weekend was moving weekend, and it's just been like
sales were ramping up.
The walls, yep.
That's awesome.
So are you going to do any specials during football season?
Yeah, so a breakdown of our whole week is on a Monday we offer like the wing and beer special. So it's 12 wings and a pitcher of beer for $17.99. Tuesdays we do Taco Tuesday and trivia that night. Wednesdays music bingo. Which has developed kind of like a cult following. Like it's kind of crazy. Like the amount of people like we can pack that place out on a Wednesday that just love playing music bingo. Thursdays we do music trivia, and regulars and residents get 10% off their total bill. Friday being today, we do karaoke at 9 and fishbowl Friday. So we have about like these 32 ounce like Malibu fish bowls that, we just kids can put like their favorite pitcher in. And then we try to do live music and like parking lot parties on Saturdays and Sundays if the weather's nice.
I got an idea for the next BCA team meeting: karaoke on Friday.
Oh yeah, it gets fun. I love to go. My go-to song's "Bust a Move."
There you go.
If ever I get a free moment for one of my other bartenders to like watch the bar and be like, I'll be back in like 4 minutes. Go out there and do a little bit of dancing, a little bit of singing. It's fun.
Well, one thing I wanted to jump into a little bit is, you're obviously a very young entrepreneur, business owner, which is kind of like, the scene that we get here. It's always a lot of business owners, but it's always awesome to see other, young people getting into that industry as well. Whether it's the bar industry or something else. How has that been? I'm assuming some of your staff is obviously probably older than you, or at least the same age. How has that been, jumping into a leadership role, managing people? Like you just said, if you don't have folks show up, how has that been? Is there any tips? Is there any, stories you can tell on that?
Yeah. So, when it was TDs at the Pier, like I said, we retained a lot of the same employees. So that was kind of the biggest challenge when I stepped in as the general manager, and I had guys that were like, bartending that were like in their 30s. some, like kitchen staff, like locals that were also probably like 10 plus years older than me. That was like the big challenge, was like kind of almost like, am I in the position to like tell them what to do? Like, I mean, like if I schedule them at this time, and for instance, if there's like, they're not there that day and I'm like reaching out like, hey, like, are you coming to work? Like this and that. Like it almost felt like, like
you're their
telling
mom.
your dad, like or somebody
Yeah.
what to do, like someone older than you. But I think I got more adjusted to it. Just like we like respect each other. Like I like talk to them, like how I talk to like everybody else. I don't really like to play too many favorites, but I well, like, we just have a pretty like close relationship, like me and all the staff. So I think there's that mutual respect,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, and that's one thing we've heard some other people say as well. You got to respect your employees, and then, because they're a vital part of the team.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it wasn't for them, you probably wouldn't be as successful. So
yeah,
that's
without
awesome
them,
to
I'd be
hear.
running around like a chicken with my head cut off most days, stressing out. But I have a great group of people, like wouldn't trade them for the world. And I'm hoping, like as we get more people that apply, they just like feed right into like that family, and
It's awesome.
a lot of fun.
What about on more of like, we're obviously in the finance world, on the finance side, how has that been? Are you the one doing the books and keeping up with the revenue? And I know you mentioned, buying inventory and stuff like that. How's that aspect been for you?
It's been all right. I got a group of accountants that kind of like help me out too. Food costs are probably what's the most like hard to manage because they're just always fluctuating.
Especially at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. With
I remember,
inflation at all time high.
Yeah, I think when we first started, like just a case of wings alone was probably going for a little over $100. Now it's dropping back to like $80 for a case. Chicken is always like, super hard to get and also pretty expensive. But the real markup, what's crazy is like on like liquor. Like, and this is go for like most bars too, but like our well bottles probably only run between like anywhere between like $5.50 and like $7 a bottle. But for instance, like tonight, like being Fishbowl Friday, we do $8 fish bowls. So if someone comes up and they kind of want like, like, oh, can I get a vodka Sprite fishbowl? Well, that $8 fishbowl has already essentially paid for the bottle.
Yeah.
So everything after whatever's left in the bottle after the fishbowl is made is kind of just,
So that's the
profit
moneymaker
for that.
is the liquor.
It's just the markup on alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's like we talked before this. I was out last night with my wife and one of our coworkers, and I like IPAs. So I got like a little can of a Pernicious IPA.
Mhm.
Like you can buy a whole case at Walmart for $12, $15,
Yeah.
whatever. It was $9.67 for a can of beer, and I was like, "This is I'm not in Los Angeles right now. What's
Yeah.
going on?" So. But you got to pay it. I mean, if you want it and you're downtown, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
bring in your own stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but that's awesome that is where the markup is. Maybe you aren't making as much on the food, and that's kind of a good price to bring people in. But then you're making on the back end, you're making money on the liquor.
Yeah. That's one thing I noticed when I moved to Charleston too, was these Clemson, like you couldn't beat these Clemson prices on like beer. Like we do like $1.75, like 16-ounce Busch Light cans, like $2 PBR. Most of our well drinks, like a rum and Coke or vodka Sprite are just $4.
Oh, wow.
But then, when I took that move to Charleston and, drinks were like anywhere between like that $8 and $12 range, I was like, this sure isn't Clemson anymore. Maybe I should just, not go out as much.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got just focusing on like the bar I was managing there at the time, which really helped with what I'm doing now.
Clemson football starting up. Are you going to throw a big party?
Yeah, so on Sundays throughout the summer, we do parking lot parties where one of my buddies, we get a trailer from him. We put the band out there, all the tables that are inside, we move outside. We get like a cornhole set up, all that kind of fun stuff. So now what I want to do is transition into like when we have away games, and most people like are in Clemson doing like tailgate parties.
Oh, that'd be
so
cool.
We'll have the game on all the TVs we have. We'll have it streaming through like the speakers. And then meanwhile, like outside, like the band will be playing and just really having a good time.
That's
Man, I want to go back to school. I don't. I mean, I shouldn't have graduated so soon. This sounds fun. I wish that was there when me and you were there, because this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always what you're looking for, because downtown Clemson it's awesome, but it's it's there's like 6 bars.
Yeah, and what we're trying to really specialize in is using our parking lot in like the outdoor area, because you're familiar with downtown Clemson.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's one bar, then you walk out, and then they're all just the one right after the other.
And there's nothing to do.
No real,
there's no activity. Like
no real
really.
outdoor like areas. I mean, a couple of bars have like, the deck or like the patio, but we actually are like fortunate enough to have like a whole parking lot and kind of like a field like next to us. So I've just been like trying to
weather
capitalize
helps.
on that. Yep. Yeah. When it's not raining, oh yeah, we have a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, I look forward. I'll definitely be coming to the game, so I'm excited to come check it out. I'm a sucker for some good wings and a pizza and maybe some beer, so I'm excited to come check it out.
I'll have to come try out that pizza.
Yeah, you've never even been to a Clemson game, have you?
No.
Yeah, you got to come, man. They're awesome. Well, I know Anthony has our signature question that he wants to ask you before we.
Yeah. So, what makes you tick?
Recently, I've just noticed. I really stress the little things, and then when like the night's over, I'm like, why was I like stressed about that? Yesterday when like our freezer went out, like, oh my God, I thought I was gonna like lose it. Like I always like freak out over like the tiniest thing. I'm like, okay, we gotta like, I can't shut down, but like, how am I gonna do this? So fortunate enough, I actually moved into one of the tiny homes that's located right behind the bar. So me and my kitchen one of my kitchen managers, we were like, all right, let's move everything into this freezer. And then the rest of the stuff, I got to run to my tiny home. And now, like, if you go to my house right now, like my fridge and the freezer are just packed with actual stuff for like the restaurant. But in terms of tick, nothing really. I'm pretty like, I try to keep calm on a lot of things. When I was working in Charleston at the time, I know I was like the front of house manager at a bar in Isle of Palms. And that's where during the summertime, it was like every day felt like a Clemson game day. Like the volume was so fast. And my GM came up to me and he's like, you may be one of like the more level-headed people we've like ever had here. And I'm like, yeah, like nothing really stresses me out until it feels like there's a situation where like I can't fix. I'm really hands-on with like my management. Like I'll always help one of my servers, or even like, you know, if the bar is under control, I'll throw myself back in the kitchen to help those guys out. But it's like, if there's a situation where I feel like, how do I even like fix this? That's when I start to like unrattle.
Yeah. Well, you've definitely done some really impressive things, and it sounds like, you know, the pub's a huge success. So I can't wait to check it out during the games and, you know, see where you grow it to. So
yeah,
it's pretty exciting.
It will be a lot of fun, especially if y'all come on karaoke.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll definitely be there. My wife's going to hear this and she's going to drag me there.
Anna loved to sing. Anna's been there a couple times.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Tyler, so much for coming on. Really, really excited to check it out. Where can people find you, obviously, if they don't know where the Pier is?
Yeah, so we're located at 440 Edinburgh Way in Seneca, South Carolina. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and some of my younger staff just told us, hey, we have to get on TikTok. So we started that too. All those are just Tyler's Pub at the Pier. And yeah, Instagram, Facebook, and now TikTok is where you can find us.
Awesome. Well, I'll be sure to check them out and give you guys a follow. And look forward to patronizing your business and going down there and getting a beer.
Perfect. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to mention our hours. Monday through Friday, we open at 4 p.m., you know, like right when everybody's getting out of class. Saturdays and Sundays, we open at 2 p.m., unless there's like a noon game. Yeah. Then we'll open up at like 11 a.m., which will be pretty fun. The kitchen just always closes at 10, so we'll have food going from 4 to 10 or 2 to 10. And then, yeah, I try to keep the bar open to 2 a.m. If people are there, I'll keep it open.
There you go. Well, yeah, man, we're super excited, and thanks again for coming on. So
yeah, really thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for checking out this edition of Connected by Community, brought to you by Ballantine Capital Advisors. Please give us a like and a follow. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the other social media and streaming platforms. Until we see you again, go out and make our community great. Thanks.